Hey, good afternoon, Build Show Network. Steve Basic Architect, and I'm live from our Amarillo, Texas project. Now, why am I got you staring down the hall? Well, I wanted to show you this beautiful concrete slab, right? In Texas, that's what we do. We build concrete slabs, and then sometimes they'll put a laminate floor on top, or they'll put a tile floor on top, or if you want to get really extravagant, we'll put some sleepers and then we'll put a hardwood floor on there. Well, there's no insulation underneath the slab, and I guess you could put it underneath there and then put the sleepers on top, but I devised a slightly different system, and you can see it here if we back up just a little. So there's the concrete slab. We have 2 inches of rigid insulation, then we have a 3/4 inch layer of OSB, and then we have another 3/4 inch layer of OSB right there. And basically those two just get laminated, glued and screwed to each other. So they're basically an 1.5-inch raft that's floating on top of the foam. Now I know you see a little bit of glue there, but that glue is really because they put that down so that first layer of OSB doesn't slide all around on the top of the foam. And then the foam is basically just friction fit in between the bottom plates and sitting on the slab. And so as we go in here, you'll see with, you know, there's a 2-foot room, and you can see it is all ready now for flooring. And we have any option. We could do a tile floor, we could do a hardwood floor, we could do whatever we want, because we now have an 1.5-inch substrate to attach to there. Now, what kind of foam did we use? Just so happen to have a piece over here. So this is DuPont styrofoam. They call it their scoreboard insulation. A couple things to point out. 25 PSI. I don't know, roughly quick math, that's probably like 1,200 pounds per square foot. So it's not denting that easy. This is 2 inches thick that we used, and its water absorption is only 0.1%. For the U value, you can see over here, R value, you can see under 2 inches, the R value is R10. So it falls in that XPS range of R values. Anyways, we got a beautiful floor here going in. It's going to go all around the house, and they'll just take it off from there and run it down the halls and into the bedrooms. But let's jump back to the studio. We'll pull up this detail and we'll talk about this exact floor system. So I'll see you back at the studio.
All right, everybody. So I don't know if you've never been to Texas. I say go there. Texas is actually one of my favorite states to travel to. Texas has a lot to offer. I always have a good time down there. I love to eat. Who doesn't love Texas barbecue? Maybe a few North Carolinians out there, but for the most part, Texas is definitely at the top of my list when it comes to places to go. But anyways, cool project we're doing out in Amarillo there. You saw the little site walk there where we were talking about the floor. I got our good friend here, Big Red. He's going to join us. We got detail here on the desktop. Let's, without further ado, let's have at it. All right. So we got Big Red. We got a beautiful detail here. We got some good thoughts. You saw the trip out to Amarillo where we walked around. Let's give you some context, right? This is our turn down slab here. That concrete foundation work. You can see some rebar happening in there. A few bars in there and a few bars down along the anchor bolt there to hold down our bottom plate of the wall. And then we got our wall system there. You can see that's all well insulated there, 2x6 wall insulation. But then the question always comes, how do we insulate that slab? And one of the
questions or strategies is not only how do we insulate that slab, but more importantly, how do we insulate it and finish it with a wood plank floor. So this is a true hardwood floor. You can see the hardwood pieces here. So, you know, traditionally you might put down some sleepers, put down a piece of, Advantech or subflooring, and then you put down the wood floor right on top of that. But those sleepers are thermal breaks, and, you know, through the process and strategy of my work in detailing, I came up with a detail here. I actually used it on my house probably close to 20 years ago. And it was through the conversations I had with Joe at Building Science Corporation, and he was always a wealth of knowledge and sharing it with me, and we put it together. But this is kind of what I would consider the latest generation. And for those of you that, you know, watch Matt's videos, you'll see this detail pop up every now and then there. You'll see it pop up with work that I do with Jake. It's a detail that we all love, and, we use it quite often. So anyways, we have that top of the slab, and you can see the top of the slab is basically the edge of the slab here. With this being grade, you can see the cold has access to the face of that concrete. So if the cold is there, then that means the cold can get in here and make the concrete cold, which means this surface can be cold, right? So you get that cold leading up and making that surface cold. And remember, insulation is nothing more than a jacket, right? It's an insulated one. And it's basically the thermal layer between inside and outside, right? So this being outside and this being inside. All right, so here we put in that 2 inches, and you saw it in the video there. That's R10, right? And R is the measure of resistance, thermal resistance. And then on top of that, we had to figure out a way, okay, how do we put a hardwood floor in there? So we could put sleepers, and then a 3/4 inch the go-to subfloor of the industry. But we do 2 layers. And the reason we do 2 layers is, those first layers go in as 4x8 sheets. And then the second layer, we offset the joints 2 feet, so that 4x8 sheet comes in here. And then the next one will come in here and there. And then the next one here. But the idea is that you get this kind of overlap on the joints, and actually you'd offset it 2 feet that way. But I call for that, it's somewhere in here, 2 layers of Advantech floor sheathing, top layer perpendicular to bottom layer, stagger all joints, minimum 24 inches. So the note is in there, we stagger it that 24 inches. So basically what you have is, you have this raft. In this particular house,
we're probably talking on the order of, a 3,500 square foot laminated 1.5 inch, because that's that 2 layers of Advantech raft of Advantech floating in the floor. Now, the floating, excuse me, the beauty of that is that because that floats above this 2 inches, we get a true thermal break. And for those of you that haven't seen before or heard me talk about thermal break, it's basically saying that, our ability to try and heat the inside when this is at 72 degrees and the outside here, let's say it's 40 degrees on a winter in Amarillo, then this heat is trying to escape and trying to heat up that outside or heat up this concrete, which is going to be close to that 40 degrees. So this insulation, that stops that thermal transfer of the heated energy that we bought and paid for in the house migrating into these colder surfaces like the foundation or heating the air outside. Very much resorting back to our original idea that the insulation is pretty much a jacket on the house. And the fact that it's floating means that thermal break, you're going to love it, my favorite word, it's continuous, right? Remember, continuity is what? Key. And so anytime we can take one of our control layers and provide true continuity, we get really good results. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that site walk. That's a quick rundown of what that detail looks like. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Until next time. All right. I'd like to tell you Big Red worked overtime, but Big Red knows no limitations. He just goes until the talking is done. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. One of my favorite details. It's always a treat to watch things get put together and see these details come alive. So if you're looking for more, Steve Bazek Architect on Instagram. I post all kinds of stuff like these details and photos almost daily. So sometimes you even get a treat and it'll be more than one post. Also, Alexandra Bazek, my daughter, she works with me and she's always posting stuff and she's doing a great job. You can find me on the Unbuild It podcast. I team up with my colleagues Peter Yost and Jake Bruton, and we talk all about building science and construction in the residential building industry. So look for us there. It's on YouTube and all the local podcast channels. You can find us there. And lastly, Build Show Network. Come on, guys. Got to watch every video 7 times. I know I say that in every video, but that's what the science says. I'm just purveyor of fine information. They say watch the video 7 times. I'm telling you. Go check out Matt. Check out Wade. Check out Jake. Check out Brent. And a special treat this week. Got Drywall Shorty. I watched her video. It's awesome. It's awesome. A woman in the trades doing drywall. She's going to teach us everything we need to know about the drywall subcontracting industry. So I look forward to seeing her videos here in the future and checking them all out. So anyways, that's it. Big Red's going to bed. That's a wrap. Check out those videos. Welcome Drywall Shorty. And until next time, long live our buildings.